So, yeah, I mean, it doesn't really smell like caca at all when I smell it.
But what does it taste like?
Well, I mean, it tastes like my own, but I mean, I don't feel like it. This is like the first time in like a year it really tasted like my own.
That's not good.
I know, right? Hey guys, how you doing?
What's up?
I'm Richie.
I'm Ben.
And welcome to Records and Reels, episode 1.
Officially. Episode 1.
Today we're going to be talking about two topics. We're going to be really quick talking about the Oscar nominations that came out in 2020.
They just came out?
Or 2019. Is it considered 2019
I think it's considered the 2020 Oscars.
The 2020 Oscars, but it's basically movies that came out last year.
Correct, yes.
And then we're going to be discussing Modern Times by Charlie Chaplin. So, yeah, we'll go into that. So let's first kind of start with our Oscar nominations.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the nominations?
Bullshit! No.
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of also with you there.
There's some things that I'm glad got recognition. I'm surprised to see some love for Pain and Glory by Pedro Almodovar.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't think anyone else saw that movie. But, like, Antonio Banderas got a nomination, so I was happy about that. It got a foreign film nomination as well.
Yes, Parasite.
Parasite.
Isn't Parasite nominated for Best Picture?
Parasite is a Best Picture nom, and it has a writing nom as well, also foreign film. But I think a lot of people would argue, as well as myself, that there are no acting nominees for Parasite, which is kind of insane.
Yep.
Song.
What about directing? Are there any director nominees?
There are some interesting director nominees. Yeah, let's just do the big five. So Best Picture, both leads, and then writing and directing.
Yep.
So let's talk about directing.
Mm-hmm. We have a computer over here that we're looking at too, just so you guys don't
think
we're
weird,
like all looking
8
over.
Ball.
Yes.
So we have The Irishman, Martin Scorsese. This is directing.
Yep.
Irishman. Joker, Todd Phillips. 1917, Sam Mendes.
Okay.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Quentin Tarantino.
Yep.
And of course Parasite by Bong Joon-ho.
Joon-ho.
What the fuck is Todd Phillips doing here?
Exactly. I also said the same thing when I saw Joker on the Best Picture list.
Literally.
I do not feel like it deserves Best Picture. It's a great movie. And I thoroughly enjoyed the film.
It's a movie.
It exists and it's there, and I think Joaquin Felix
the cat.
I think Joaquin Phoenix did an amazing acting job.
He's the only thing that carries that movie, really.
Exactly. I mean, I did also kind of like Robert De Niro in there a little bit. But it just, that whole end scene was very acted, kind of weird.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it still kind of got me, but...
I just think, personally, I think it's like I think it's a mediocre movie with a good performance. I don't even think it's a bad movie.
I agree.
I don't think it's bad at all.
I don't think it's a bad movie at all.
I don't think it's amazing.
Exactly, and there are so many movies this year that should have been nominated.
I know Greta Gerwig is a big snub for director.
Little Women, come on.
One of my favorites of the year. I think I put that as number 2 for my top 10 of the year.
One of my favorites of the year that did not get Best Picture nom, which I think it should have, was A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood.
Oh, yes.
About Mr. Rogers and everything.
People were saying she should have been nominated too. Is it Lillian Heller? Is that what it is?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't see Florence Pugh anywhere.
Florence Pugh, actually, she got a supporting nomination.
She did get a supporting nom. I thought she should have gotten a... I considered that role a leading role.
Which
in Little
one?
Women.
Yeah, it's tough, because...
Yeah.
But, like, then you have Saoirse Ronan, and it's like, well, it is more Joe's story.
Exactly. But,
so I can see it.
Yeah.
I'm glad she got nominated. I don't think she'll win because Scarlett Johansson and Laura Dern are both getting nominations.
And I also feel like Jojo Rabbit should have also been on the Best Picture nominees myself. Jojo Rabbit, no. Taika Waititi is, in my opinion, is an amazing director, and that movie was a beautiful movie from beginning to end. I was laughing.
I still haven't seen it.
I was laughing throughout the whole thing, and it really satirizes the whole... It's like if you asked Mel Brooks to make a movie about World War II Germany today.
Yeah.
And I think Taika Waititi really brought his own type of flair to it. Because, I mean, Mel Brooks was... He joked about it his whole life.
Oh, all the time.
So it's like, have a really funny... Not funny, but a really satirical look at... the blindness of people.
Yes.
And I think it's also very relevant today.
I'm gonna check.
But we're not gonna delve into that. But so let's kind of take a out of the pick of the
Best Pictures?
Best Directors.
Oh, Best Directors.
Who do you think out of that pick should be the winner?
I That's a tough one. I think it's between Marty and Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah.
I think that's where the real race is. If Todd Phillips wins, it's chaos.
Yeah.
It's chaos.
I haven't seen Parasite, so I'm not gonna put my vote in for Bong Joon-ho. I think I think the race is gonna be Sam Mendes and Scorsese for 1917.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. Also, one I
still haven't seen it, but
that one just came out.
It looks amazing. I mean, I felt a really great sense of just the trailers alone. Especially seeing the trailer in a theater, I think
it'll look great.
Yeah, it's actually supposed to be made to look like it's one continuous shot.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see how that turns out. I think I might be seeing it this weekend, actually. So
I'm trying to see it soon. Let's look at Best Leading Actor and Leading Actress real quick before we head into Best Picture.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I said before, Antonio Banderas for Pain and Glory.
Yep.
Leonardo DiCaprio, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Okay.
Adam Driver, Marriage Story.
Mm-hmm.
Joaquin Phoenix in The Joker. Joker.
Not The Joker.
And Jonathan Pryce in The Two Popes.
So I personally think the race will be between Adam Driver and Joaquin Phoenix.
I think so too.
I think Marriage Story. I mean, it's been memed everywhere, but it's a great film.
I feel like a lot of people.
I really enjoyed it.
I feel like a lot of the people who've memed it haven't seen the film.
Exactly, they've only seen that one scene,
yes.
So they don't even get the context of it. You know what I mean? Especially because when you watch the whole film, it's a really heavy scene.
Absolutely.
But if you just kind of see it on
out of context,
Twitter, it's just
why
are they screaming at each other?
Literally, it's this is theater acting. Well, it's well, you didn't watch the whole movie.
Well, yeah, it's also movie acting as well. So, but I think that is going to be the race. I think Adam Driver is actually going to win.
I would like that. I think, talking of snubs, Adam Sandler is a big one.
Oh yeah, because you enjoyed Uncut Gems.
I did. Yep. I'm a big Safdie Bros person. I love Uncut Gems and Good Time and Heaven Knows What. Yep. But the character that he portrays is perfect for him. You know what I mean?
Yes, definitely. I agree.
He has that potential. We all know he has that potential, and he knows he has that potential. But
exactly,
when money's there to make pixels and grown-ups too,
exactly,
you do what you do, Sandman. But
yeah, a big snub that also I think should have gone is to Idris Elba in Cats.
The whole cast of Cats.
The whole cast of Cats is up for leading
Jason
actor.
Derulo.
Judi Dench.
She's up for lead actor.
Judi Dench is up for lead actress. Francesca Hayward, lead actress.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Taylor Swift, lead actress.
Let's go, Taylor.
Speaking of lead actress, you have Cynthia Erivo in Harriet.
Yep.
You have Scarlett Johansson in Marriage Story. Mm-hmm. You have Saoirse Ronan in Little Women.
Mm-hmm.
You have Charlize Theron in Bombshell. And then Renee Zellweger in Judy.
I have not seen Judy. I've never heard of this movie until you said the title right now.
I saw that she won the Critics' Choice Award the other night for that film, and I was like, I don't know what that is.
Really?
I don't know what that is.
Yep. I think the race is going to be ScarJo and Saoirse for the two. I think Scarlett is going to win.
Yeah.
Just because I think her performance was a little bit more powerful. In Marriage Story.
I love her performance in Marriage Story. It's so beautiful, especially when she is talking to Laura Dern for the first time in her office. She kind of just breaks down, and tears are just falling, and she's speaking. She's not crying. She's crying, but it's not about her crying. It's about her moving past it. Yeah,
exactly. But Saoirse was amazing in Little Women.
She was really good.
I've been a fan of Saoirse since Hannah.
Yes, she's been around.
I really like that movie.
Was, 2011?
I think so, and I enjoyed that movie. I thought it was really cool. Kate Winslet, Kate Blanchett?
Kate Blanchett, I believe.
Yes, was in that movie as well. I think she did a good job. I also loved her in Grand Budapest Hotel.
She was great. Oh, yes, she was.
I can't remember the character's name, but she was Zero's girlfriend. Yes, that looks like Mexico.
Yeah, it's one of the countries or Italy. I can't remember which one it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Charlize Theron's in there.
Yep. I loved Cynthia Erivo as Harriet.
Oh, you did?
I don't think she's gonna win.
See, that one that feels like they're trying to just be like, see, we nominated one black person or person of color, and it's like, I saw a joke on Twitter that was like, you remember the show The Critic? It was like an animated show from the 90s about film.
I think so.
It's like a comedy show, like John Lovitz plays the main character. But
awesome. Okay, I have to be on it.
Get into
watching it now.
But someone on Twitter was like, the only black person being nominated and they're playing Harriet Tubman seems like a joke out of the critic. Like, it seems too far-fetched to be real and farcical, but that's where we are.
Any actresses that you think got a snub?
Lupita's a big one.
Yep, for us.
I personally wasn't the biggest fan of her performance, but I know that people were big on her performance.
Exactly. And especially to play the same character, but different, yeah.
And I respect it. I respect it more than I like it. And I do think that she deserved it over. I mean, I haven't seen Bombshell, but now I have to watch Bombshell. Yeah. There was Awkwafina for The Farewell. Also another directing snub for Lulu Wang.
Yep, I haven't seen that movie and I want to.
Beautiful.
I see all the previews on TV for Nora from Queens, which I think it's a new Comedy Central show with Awkwafina.
Oh, with Awkwafina, yes,
and it looks really funny, and I think they're trying to go in the same vein as like Broad City.
Right.
And I love Broad City. It's one of my favorite like modern comedies on TV, which is hilarious, and it's a really hilarious show. So I think they're gonna try to go that route with it, and I want to see how they do it.
I think she's a good fit for that. She's got that like, she like has that like confidence, but she also has that like, I don't want to say slacker vibe about her, but she has that like chilled out vibe about her where she can
I would
do
say it's
comedy.
chilled out. Yeah, I would definitely say it's chilled out.
And
it's kind of hipster in the way it's like
a little bit.
Yep.
Yes, I would agree. It's like it's like confidence where she doesn't have to like try, I guess. Like,
exactly.
It's just like fluid. So let's just go right into Best Picture then.
Yep.
Or if you will, Best. What's it actually called? Oh, they renamed foreign film, by the way, to Best International Picture.
I mean, I like that better than foreign.
I do too, because it's just like foreign.
All right, so let's kind of go down the nominees for Best Picture.
So we have Ford v Ferrari, a film that has no other nominations except maybe production and nominations, but no leads, no acting, no supporting, no directing, no writing. So it's like this was a film that felt like it was going to be nominated, and everyone just decided, I just throw it in there.
Exactly. It's just like. They made it. Just put it up there.
Literally. And it came out in October, I think. So.
Yeah, you can put that film up there. I don't know.
The Irishman.
Yep, I could see that, definitely.
I enjoyed The Irishman, sorry.
You just put your notebook up here.
I know, it's right here. So I'm not like hiding candy down.
Yes, I keep Twizzlers right next to my camera.
I saw The Irishman twice, because
Why?
So the first time I watched it was on Thanksgiving, like every other family in America. My family sat down for 5 hours to watch this 3-hour movie. And sometimes people who don't watch movies a lot tend to talk through the movies.
Yes. So you kind of wanted your own silent
right, exactly. So I went
theater
back,
experience.
And I liked it enough to watch it again regardless.
Yeah.
But then I watched it a second time. It kind of sealed it for me that I really enjoyed that film. I don't know if I would pick it as Best Picture, but let's keep going and find out. Jojo Rabbit we discussed.
My pick. I'm gonna back Jojo Rabbit. I feel like it was one of the best films of the year, and I wish it got more recognition and more release in the States. I mean, granted, it was it released. I mean, it had a really good release, but I wish it was released just a little bit longer because I never got to see it in theaters, but I got to see it on Plex, the movie pirating service. So come at me.
I mean, movie
fight me.
Watching service, that's definitely legal.
Right, yes. Yes, we watch all our movies legally here at Records and Reels.
To maybe put some perspective on where we're from, but not to tell you exactly. Jojo Rabbit is playing at the Avon still.
Really?
Yes, I think it came back to the Avon, so I might go.
I think people really enjoyed it then,
Yeah. Look at them. It's a great theater.
Yes.
Joker, womp womp.
No.
Why is it up there? Put The Farewell there, or put Uncut Gems, or put. I remembered another snub for a lead actor. Willem Dafoe for The Lighthouse.
Yep. Robert Pattinson, I would have
also
put for,
Robert Pattinson.
Well, I mean, you can think of both the lead, but I could put him for supporting.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, I would put him for supporting as well. Even though it really is his story, I feel like Willem Dafoe really just captures that film.
Yep.
And Robert Pattinson got snubbed for Good Time, another Safdie brothers film. 2 directors who also get snubbed a lot by the Academy, apparently. Let's finish this out. Little Women, loved it.
Yep, really great
Amazing.
film.
Marriage Story, also a great film.
Yep.
1917, again,
Yes.
still haven't seen it.
Still haven't seen it,
can't
but
say.
right now I've seen, the headline that I just saw currently was 1917 is art. So I'm really excited to see how that goes. And I'm a big fan of war movies. So I kind of like, Saving Private Ryan I love, We Were Soldiers, Hacksaw Ridge.
I enjoyed Hacksaw Ridge.
I really enjoyed Hacksaw Ridge. I loved Andrew Garfield's performance in that, but yeah, I digress.
That and Jojo Rabbit seem to be the most divisive, I feel. I've seen some... when Jojo Rabbit first came out, I saw pretty high praise of it, and then I saw it's starting to get a little bit of derision online from critics. I haven't seen it, but I'm surprised that that's happened, especially since Taika Waititi is such a... He's such a crowd pleaser. Exactly.
He's well loved.
Exactly.
By
especially
everyone,
in the critics' circle.
Because he went from and then he also did Thor. Ragnarok.
Yep, Ragnarok.
Which, in my opinion, was one of the best newer Marvel movies.
I don't watch Marvel movies.
I do just because I'm a sucker for just a good action.
I feel you. Yeah, it's for whatever you want to do. And then he did What We Do in the Shadows, of course. Yep. And then Hunt for the Wilder People got a nomination or two that year. It came out, I believe. So surprising.
Exactly.
To say the least. To finish it out, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I can see that.
I enjoyed that one. I saw that one twice in theaters. I do that. I mostly see a lot of things twice in theaters because I'm like, when am I going to get to see this again in a theater? So.
Exactly, yep.
And then finishing on out, Parasite.
Yep.
My number one pick.
Your number one
year.
pick. I cannot say it's my number one pick, but I want to support you just because I've never seen the film and I have to see it. But I support you wholeheartedly.
All right. Same for Jojo Rabbit for you.
Yes,
I
thank
support
you. Yeah,
your
I love
decision.
Jojo Rabbit. All right, so
that was our Oscar talk.
That was our Oscar talk.
Until it comes, maybe we'll talk about it again. We'll talk about winners.
Exactly, we'll talk about winners. So let's kind of get right into the meat and potatoes.
The meat and potatoes
and of our corn and soup and
well,
cake.
we're saving the soup for and cake.
Cake, and then have it beat our faces up for
giant pieces of bread.
Giant pieces of bread that's massive, and you rip them. All right, so if you don't know by now, we're talking about Modern Times.
Modern Times is the first in our series of early comedies that we're going to be discussing for this section. Modern Times. Why did we pick Modern Times and not any other Chaplin film?
So I like Modern Times. This is a Richie pick, right? Yeah, this is a more of a me pick. For talking about this, I personally love that it's blending the sort of the influence of talkies, and that with the slapstick original trying to be the same Charlie Chaplin as always.
Right.
And the reason I picked this is because it has one of my favorite comedic routines ever. It's Charlie Chaplin's gibberish song at the end, which we'll talk about. But I love that because it's him bringing in, basically bringing in that talky influence, but keeping it as Charlie Chaplin as possible with a complete gibberish moment. And I do feel like there's some great things to talk about in this film in terms of comedy and slapstick as well.
I think it really does, it really is his response to the emergence of the talking picture.
Exactly.
With the way the noises are used, with the way sound is used sparingly, everything is used for a purpose.
Exactly.
And it feels that he's fighting against it, but also trying to incorporate.
I also chose this pick because of a very minimal use of title cards or caption cards. I just call them caption cards. Or dialogue cards.
I usually call them dialogue cards, but either whatever you want to call it.
But yeah, that's just kind of why I chose this film. Is mainly just because I feel like it bridges the gap of sort of talky and silent slapstick and dialogue comedy.
So this is one of the, I consider that there are 5 Chaplin films that usually get talked about when you talk about Chaplin.
Yep. You want to name them?
Yeah, The Kid. The Gold Rush. City Lights.
Yep.
Modern Times. And The Great Dictator.
Really? You didn't, I was also going to say The Dog.
The Dog?
And
really?
Limelight.
I was going to say, Limelight, I feel like those get discussed less. Limelight and Monsieur Verdot and The Circus. Those are all if you know Chaplin, you're a fan of Chaplin, obviously, you're going to watch those ones, but I feel like these are the 5 when people talk about Chaplin, they picture Chaplin. These are the ones they talk about.
The little tramp character.
Right, exactly.
And everything like that. So
he's so lovable.
It is.
You gotta love him.
He's very lovable, even though he falls in love with like a 14-year-old in the film.
A 14-year-old who's clearly in her late 20s.
And Chaplin's in his early 40s.
That's what I loved about, a little spoiler for next week, talking about Safety Last with Harold Lloyd. He's called the boy throughout, and he's like in his mid-20s anyway.
Yeah. I would say early 20s. I'd say like 20. Yeah. But we'll talk about it when the time's right.
Let's just start. Let's start from the beginning.
Let's just kind of, So, quick warning for everyone here. This is a spoiler-filled review.
This film... It's 80 years old.
So you must know. But I always like to preface, because if you've never seen these films and you'd really like to experience how we experience it also,
go watch it.
Go watch it.
It's short.
This will be full of spoilers, so this is a spoiler warning. Almost all the films that we do talk about on here are spoiler
Unless
filled.
It's like a recent release.
Exactly, yeah.
Then we won't necessarily get into it, but like...
We might film maybe a mini episode of 1917 when we see it, or things like that, so we could do that. Maybe do like some first thoughts or something, but yeah.
I like that.
Notice how we're also brainstorming the way our show is going to be happening as we make...
Flying by the seat of my pants!
Yes.
Like right, Hamilton.
So yeah, let's start with the beginning of the film.
It starts kind of menacingly.
It does.
It's got a very ominous score that starts it off.
Yep. Also composed by Chaplin.
I did not know that.
Score composed by Chaplin as well, who also wrote Smile. Oh, your heart is very smile. Yeah, Charlie Chaplin wrote that song, Smile. So.
He's a true talent, that man.
He is, yeah.
I enjoyed the in the opening title crawl, you have the 2 leads, and then you have supported by.
Yep.
Like they just straight up say these are the supporting cast. But I just like that. It feels like a really cohesive.
It does
picture.
Because like here you're people. You know what I mean?
These are the people.
These are the people who are in
helping.
this film.
Exactly.
I want more of that in like.
Yes, exactly.
Modern
Instead
cinema.
of just like a scroll, just like supported by these people are here for this film.
Or like just starting a film like at the first scene.
Yeah.
Like no, give me a full.
Literally, yes, an overture and everything.
Yes, please. 10 minutes.
The first shot. Do you have anything more about the credits? I should say.
Not really. No.
Right.
Yeah, but let's start with the first shot.
The first shot. It's a herd of sheep.
It is a herd of sheep. Yes. I saw it as slaughter, lambs to slaughter.
Yeah.
That's what I thought of as just like leading lambs to slaughter.
I thought, and as well as like the idea herding. Of like sheeple and like
and herding.
Yes, herding like. Herd like sheep, exactly.
And how it fades into businessmen.
Exactly, just walking, like going to work. It's just, it's a great visual image.
I got a very Metropolis vibe.
Yes.
I feel like that was really inspired by Fritz Lang.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And that's kind of where it goes, really. The film kind of paints technology as this, like, overseer and this great force that we are becoming not slaves to, but we are becoming incorporating into our systems.
And sometimes it's a hindrance.
Exactly,
we also
absolutely.
realize in this film that sometimes it's a hindrance. So.
But then you have the first sound you hear is machine sounds, and then you have the boss on a large screen telling people what to do, like a voice of God.
Yeah, it's very 1984-like.
Absolutely.
From a time before.
Right, yeah.
He shows up in the bathroom.
Yeah.
He tells him to...
Yeah, exactly. Get back to work.
Get back to work.
And that's the only time you hear that character speak is when he's on the screen.
Yeah.
He doesn't speak when he's... And that's one of my favorite gags, too, is when they come in with the breakfast machine, instead of speaking, they play a record.
They play a record of it. And he goes, this is the inventor. And instead of saying... Thank you for inviting him.
Right?
Thank you for inviting him.
That's what I love about the film. Really, the use of sound effects is basically limited to machine sounds and any not ancient technology, but old school technology, like a door or a chair.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The only instance I can think where the sound isn't used for that purpose is the stomach gurgling gag.
Yes, the stomach gurgling
gag. But other than that,
a great gag.
It's a lot of just. Yep. It really shows the importance of the machines in this world and how they are becoming the norm.
So let's kind of talk about our favorite gags of the film.
Okay.
I feel like with the Charlie Chaplin, you could talk about plot and you know what I mean, and we could spend so much time talking about plot.
Right.
But let's talk about the gags.
There's so much exactly. A bunch of them are all just stitched together gags, and that's okay.
I think let's start with one of the first gags is him.
The wrench, the wrenches.
Twitching and having to stop, and that's one of my favorite things. And then him going insane is also really funny. Yeah.
And that his wrench leads into probably the most iconic image of the film, which is him in the machine,
Yep.
going through the gears, fixing a bolt in the machine while
Yep.
he's in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful effect.
Yep.
I love that they built this whole
Machine?
contraption just for like 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
Did you also catch the analogy of the machine itself? It's made to look like a video camera. The inside of an old-time camera with the reels that goes through. It's his homage to cinema at the time as well.
he is the cinema.
He is the film itself, so that kind of works out there.
Beautiful.
Another gag, the feed machine.
Feed
The feed machine is the best. It's one of the best parts of this movie.
Whenever I see the feed machine, I'm always like, all right, let's get it over with. I know it's silly, ha ha ha. But then he gets the corn, and I just can't stop laughing.
Yeah, and then when he gets the bolts shoved into his mouth, oh no! And then the soup starts low and then comes up faster, and then
it's hard to talk about Chaplin without talking about the other films because that the bolts especially, it reminds me of a scene from The Great Dictator, which is basically the opposite of this film, which is this is a silent film with like sound placed throughout.
Yep.
This The Great Dictator being a sound film with some silent gags in it.
Exactly.
The gag that I'm thinking of is they're deciding who to send to war, and they put a coin in one of their meals. But it turns out that everyone has a coin in their meals.
Oh,
but
wow.
Charlie Chaplin just keeps eating the coins. I make it sound so funny.
Yeah. So, another gag. I talked about the Into the Machine. The protest gag.
I love that
when he
gag.
ends up becoming the leader of the protest.
I forgot about that gag.
And if you, especially in olden times, and you still see it now, it's usually a red flag.
Yeah.
So that's why. So I mean, it's black and white, but we all know it's a red flag. So it also reminds me very much of like a Les Mis imagery, the big
absolutely.
red flag. But also red is a very communist color.
Yes.
And
he gets taken in for being communist.
This movie has really socialist message.
Yeah.
Throughout it. This would be like a Bernie
Anti-industry,
Sanders favorite movie if you were to think about it. But yeah, so
it's funny. I wanted to. I saw there's an internet video prank. I don't know if it's real or not. It could be staged, like most internet pranks are. But the idea is they trick someone into waving a flag for like some camera down the street, and suddenly a crowd appears behind them, just much like this in the movie.
Oh,
and on the other
great.
side, police come towards them, and they're just like,
"Oh wow!"
So I can see where that inspiration comes from. Then he goes to jail.
He gets he goes to jail because of that, because I think he's the leader and perpetrator of this whole thing. And that I think the jail is actually one of my favorite. I would say, not scenes, but it's one of my favorite.
The segments
or
like
section
location,
of the film.
right.
Yeah, I feel like just because there's so many great little gags in it.
Absolutely.
The cocaine and
the nose powder.
The nose powder. I'm gonna say it's cocaine.
Absolutely.
Cocaine in the salt, and when he eats it,
and then just grabs the bread.
Oh yes! And he keeps eating and eating and eating, which is great. And he ends up outside.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I love that. So there's that fight he has when the people are trying to break out of the jail. I find it funny that the two sound effects you hear in that are the gun, which continues to miss him. That's the new technology, and him just using the door as a weapon, and you hear that sound.
Yes, exactly.
It's just an idea of like old technology versus new technology, and the Tramp's a very old school type character.
Exactly.
And Chaplin's a very old school dude, so it makes sense that his way of getting rid of the problem is to use old ways.
And then of course the gurgling stomach gag is also one of my favorite gags when he finally turns on the radio. Tired of gastritis? Nope. And he turns it right off.
That's one that kind of not flew over my head the first time I saw it, but I was like, all right, that was a little strange.
Yeah.
But then I watched it again this time, I was like, all right, that's pretty good.
That's pretty funny. That's a pretty funny gag. And then we find him kind of falling for the gammon.
The gammon.
Yep. A child of the streets.
A juvenile delinquent.
Yes, a juvenile. Juvenile.
Yeah, even though she
Charlie.
Again.
Yeah, I mean the actress was well into her late 20s,
yes,
but
easily.
playing around I would say like a 15.
Yeah, around there, 16.
Person.
Yeah.
Yep.
She has a very like new school look to her, I feel.
She does. She reminded me, of course, I mean, the costume design reminded me of a Peter Pan.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, the rip thing, the way she kind of stood, it was very Peter Pan.
Yes,
like, I was waiting for her to do, like, the call, like the rooster call. But the way she throws things. But it's a very new school look, especially with, like, the way actresses looked at that time.
Right, absolutely. Even his female protagonist in City Lights.
Yep.
Very different, very old school looking character. So it's interesting to see that he picks a new school look, maybe to represent the new school
or the new generation of
exactly.
thought. Yes, exactly.
But it's funny that she's a character who doesn't even interact with technology at all. She gets on a boat to steal bananas, but she's not interacting with the boat.
Yeah, she uses a knife.
Exactly. She's very reliant on her skills.
Yep. I think the closest she gets to luxury is the bed in the department store.
Yes, absolutely.
She falls asleep. But that's really it, and she puts on the coat, which leads to another great gag of the roller skating.
The roller skating, beautiful.
I love it.
Beautiful. I think that's probably the second most iconic image from this film outside of the gears.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so much fun.
It is, especially once you learn how they shot it.
Right.
Which we'll let you guys take a look at that. You can look it up on YouTube anywhere, how they shot that scene.
Layers.
Yeah, layers.
Said that, layers.
Ogres have layers.
And so does Chaplin. He's a layered man.
Hear that? They call me Noble Steve. But, yeah.
We should do Shrek one day.
Oh, God.
We should do a Shrek, what is it, quadrilogy.
Yeah, we're doing all
four of them before the fifth one comes out.
By there's the fifth one coming out?
They're making a fifth one.
God damn it. Alright, so, let's kind of talk about some more of the gags and things. So, she becomes a dancer.
Yep.
Does she sing also at the club?
She...
Oh, no, she was a dancer.
She's
found dancing on the street for money.
Yes.
And they're like, let's give you a job.
Yeah, she's kind of just dancing outside.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, she can dance in here.
Right? She's like, hey, get in here, little lady. So,
we don't care if you're 14, 15.
Right, exactly. But, he gets... so Chaplin also gets a job as a singing waiter.
He does.
And, which is also a great song of the singing waiters.
It's wonderful. His little dance he does, too, when he's vamping and he's just sliding across the floor. He's like,
well, not even that,
pants.
but I was referencing the song that the waiters sing. It was also a great
like the
song.
barbershop quartet.
Kind of, yeah. But let's go right into Chaplin's song.
And here we'll play a clip.
Yep.
Alright.
Is it playing?
Oh.
I don't know. Wait, is it? I can't.
Hopefully.
But yeah, it's I love the way he made that little ditty work, and you understood it. You understood the story of that song.
Yes.
With no English words, no any language words.
Exactly.
Complete gibberish. The way he uses his hands in the...
That's his object work.
Kiss.
Like, Chaplin really, has an idea of, spacing and...
And the way he vamps also.
Exactly. He, throws his cuffs off.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking back to this movie makes me laugh. And that's a sign of a good comedy, I think, when you talk about it after, and you might even laugh more.
Exactly,
afterward.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I love that scene because there's a huge buildup of the duck, the roasted duck.
Yes.
He's dancing around with the platter.
And he's got it up, and everybody starts dancing. I don't know what to do, and it just ends up getting passed around the whole restaurant.
That's wonderful. They play football with the duck, then it just gets stuck on the
on
the chandelier.
Mm-hmm.
He also has a couple of odd jobs before he gets the singing job. Sorry to jump back.
Yeah. The first one is he's on the dock.
He's on the dock.
Yeah.
A wonderful rear screen projection effect of a boat flying back into a harbor.
Yeah.
Which is wonderful. Mm-hmm. And he's just like, oh, that tramp. He's such a little tramp.
Oh, no. He probably killed people. Oh, no.
But look at that smirk. It really is the smirk, that classic smirk he does. Just like the doe-eyed little, and you're like, how can I hate you? He really is, so I feel like...
Which is also funny because I didn't even see... You watch the beginning of the film and he's in the factory, you don't see the tramp until he's on the street after being cured of a mental breakdown.
Right, he's just a guy.
Right? And it's very relatable, but then you see the little tramp, you're like, oh, okay, it's Chaplin, he's doing the character. But I didn't even know that he was doing... The very first time I saw this film, I had no idea it was him doing a little tramp character.
Right.
I thought he was being... Him, exactly. The posters, you don't even see him dressed as a little tramp.
Right,
it's him
in
the overalls, and he's holding wrenches, or he's holding up something.
Yes, look at it right now.
Yeah.
Yes, he's holding up a little power.
Yeah, like he's working the machine.
Yeah.
So it's, you don't, which I think is a really cool thing that he did, because he made you be like, this is going to be a serious film. But then also it's like, okay, here's the comedy.
Right.
There's a message, but we're gonna make it funny.
Right.
And I think that was also a really cool thing that he did there.
The Tramp character is a very, to put it in a nerdy way.
Yeah.
I feel like he's he's a neutral good character who by circumstance is a chaotic good character. He always has good intentions. And even when he's screwing someone over, like when he's screwing over the police officer when he's trying to get arrested, he's smoking the cigar.
Yep.
Even when stealing something from someone, he's giving to someone else. He's giving the kids the candy from the store clerk.
Exactly.
Or he's trying to help his boss later on, who he's working on a different machine with, and he just keeps fucking.
That's also a great gag.
It is.
When he starts getting like his head just kind of pops out in different places, like a whack-a-mole, and he's got the oil. The oil's one of my favorites when he starts just spraying everyone in the factory when he goes away. So yeah.
When he's working as an apprentice too, like there's a lot of great. Chaplin has a lot of great different kinds of comedy because he does prop comedy and then he does some physical comedy.
Oh, he's great at slapstick.
And then
course.
he'll do like something more like something more casual that's just like again a victim of circumstance.
Exactly.
But he goes with the flow, and that's why you love him because he's not malicious in any way. He's just a guy who's like trying to do what's right. That's obviously evidence when he like tries to take the blame for the bread.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite things that Chaplin does is he uses his hand to point.
Yes.
But that is the comedy. Like when he's in the bathroom and he's smoking and hey, get back to work, and he goes
pointing at the sink.
And he's like that point is funny.
Yes.
It's the way
it's very exaggerated.
Yeah.
And that's where the comedy comes
which is very much like a Disney cast member.
Yes, exactly.
So,
you can't do one finger.
It has to be a 2-finger point or a full hand gesture.
Which is awesome. Honestly, I do want to talk about the Tramp a little bit more. Just that goose step he has.
With the way his feet are out.
Especially he incorporates that into the dance and song he does.
Yes, he does.
Because when he practices, he knows that he walks like this, so that he incorporates it. But as an audience, we see especially when he's in the jail procession, you just see he sticks out like a sore thumb.
Exactly. I love the gag of them, the way they got like the little tiny squirrely guy. Being like, the nose powder, he's got it. Yes. And I love how it directs you like, it's him. It's him. It's him. This guy. This guy.
The most squirrely looking guy.
You're like... But then also the comedy of the small man and the brute, which I thought was a really good,
he used that comedy. A lot, and I think it works very well.
Yeah, he does that a lot in a lot of his films. It's sort of that big against smaller, brains against brawn type thing. And of course, brains always has to win because it's a Chaplin movie.
Another thing he uses a lot, and he does in this one, of course, is a send-up of the higher class or the upper class.
Yes.
He does it sparingly in this one. He saves it more just for the ending.
Yeah.
Especially when he is the waiter. Mm-hmm. But of course, it's going to be in there because that's funny.
Yep. Exactly.
It's a comedy trope, but it's a comedy staple.
Exactly.
To tear down the rich, because the taller you are, the harder you fall. So
exactly, he has a lot of that Robin Hood mentality.
Right, exactly.
In his film,
exactly.
Especially with the Gammon.
The Gammon. So my favorite X-Men, the Gammon.
The Gammon. Yeah. She's in the next Deadpool. So
there you go. Yeah. What if she's 100 something? I still got it. I love
the way she eats is so not like a rich person.
Just big old chomps.
Right? Exactly. Like I gotta exaggerate because I'm so starved and I gotta eat.
One of my favorite scenes is now that you bring up them eating is when they're in the house. That whole set is a wonderful set, and it's the way it works. The way it's set up is a little Gold Rushy. The house set.
Mm-hmm. Very similar to Gold Rush.
Yes, the cabin in the mountain. But I just see her slicing the bread like huge chunks, and I'm like, are they gonna eat sandwiches like that? And then of course, it's 2 thick pieces of bread and a little bit of ham.
Right. It's because it's that trope of new housewife doesn't know how to.
Right. Exactly.
That's sort of like. which is also very sexist.
Another setup of suburban life as well.
Exactly.
When they're doing the the walkthrough of the house, he's grabbing apples out of the window and grapes.
Yes.
There's a cow walk by and it just shoots milk into a pail.
Yeah.
I love that scene too because it's set up with them just sitting in someone's front yard. They're just because they don't have anywhere else to go. Mm-hmm. And that's just fun. It's just funny. It is because it is, and I say so.
But also, it's very much a sort of where was he living originally? That's a question that I don't have answered because he had to have slept somewhere. He didn't sleep in the factory,
right? Or did
he? Possibly, we don't know.
Could be. I mean, he slept in he was intending to sleep in the department store before it gets drunk.
Oh yeah. So let's do some kind of final takeaways from the film.
Let's do it.
So let's talk about favorite moment, least favorite moment, and how you feel.
All right.
Go into therapy a little bit.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. How did it make you feel? All right. So favorite moment.
My favorite moment, I think. I love the roller skates. I love when he's being drunk on the roller skates.
Yes.
I think it's such a... He already shows that he has, supreme command of his skates. And then he shows you even further how far he can go. He's slipping, sliding in liquid.
Yeah.
And he's still, composing himself. And I'm just how all these slapstick guys just make me so amazed by their physical feats, because obviously that's where their comedy is going to come from if they don't have too many words to use.
Exactly.
So I think that's my favorite part.
I think my favorite moment is his finale song, his gibberish song.
It's wonderful.
Every time I watch it, I have just a big smile on my face, and it just makes me happy to watch it. If you guys please go, just look up that scene if you'd like to.
Honestly, a lot of the gags work so well out of context.
Exactly. Each gag could be its own little short film.
Absolutely.
The Feed Machine.
That would
have been a great short little slapstick film. You know what I mean? Or Jail Time. That could have been a funny little slapstick film. But yeah, so
I just want to say about the Feed Machine. I think it's funny that he is the only person to use the Feed Machine.
Yep.
And later on in the film, he becomes a Feed Machine himself. When he's feeding his instructor.
Yep.
So definitely. A little reversal roles there. I think he does a better job than the Feed Machine.
Of course he does. I mean,
he still fucks up because he's the tramp. But he does a great job.
All right, least favorite moment.
Least favorite moment.
Moment.
I thought the introduction of the gammon.
The gammon. Yeah.
I thought the introduction was a little weak. It kind of feels out of left field a little bit. Mm-hmm. The way she's incorporated, eventually it works for me. When she does steal the bread, I think that's when it really starts to work for me.
Okay. Yep.
I understand that they're setting up her character, but I don't feel like I have enough background on what's going on in her life. Mm-hmm. You can tell her father's out of prison, or not out of prison. Excuse me, out of work. Mm-hmm. And you can see the struggle, but I don't know.
Yep. I'd have to say one of my least favorite moments is, and I think it's just the scenes of the gammon's life.
Yeah.
Bringing the bananas home. It kind of feels, it's very slow moving. I feel like there could have been ways to have made it a little bit more funny. But also you have to keep in mind, it's also a serious part of the life, you know what I mean?
So it has to be kind of that.
Exactly.
There needs to be some tension, or it would be nothing.
I agree. All right, so, and how did it make you feel?
It made me, this second time around, because I feel like I watched it originally, I want to say a year and a half ago, maybe. Mm-hmm. And I really liked it that time, but this time around I really enjoyed it even more. I enjoyed the mix of condemnation and admiration of technology. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's a lot of social commentary. There's one title card I really loved that I think every rich person has said in their lives, and it was, meanwhile, outside, there is trouble with the unemployed. And I think...
Of course there is.
Yeah, exactly, literally, exactly. Yep. And it just that just made me laugh, just because it's it's pretty on the nose, but not in an overbearing way.
Exactly. I feel the same way.
So it's fun, and it's interesting that this is the film that he does directly before The Great Dictator, which is obviously his big social lampoon, satire lampoon, of Third Reich and Hitler.
Yep.
The House of the Gammon, actually, it reminded me of a set in The Great Dictator as well, one of the house sets. Yep. So just just little connections.
Cool.
How to make you feel?
It made me laugh, and I really like that it made me laugh. Whenever I see Chaplin's just face, I just get so overwhelmed with just happiness and emotion.
It's true.
That I mean, when he fails, I almost cry. When he's successful, I'm almost cheering at the screen. So I'm really happy that this film made me feel happy.
And it is again because he's such an endearing character.
Exactly, and you want him to be your best friend, but you also want him to be like your son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you also want him to stay the fuck away because he's gonna fuck something up.
Yeah, because he's gonna mess something
Even
up.
though he's trying his hardest.
And also try to marry a teenager. So.
Yeah. See, okay, so that's I wonder, like, real quick before we end off this. The relationship they had, it obviously felt a bit romantic, especially when she's playing the housewife part.
It's not too romantic.
But exactly, it's not overly sentimental or sensual or, like, romantic. It feels almost just like a platonic friendship. It feels like...
or like a best friendship.
Right, exactly. Just like two kindred spirits who basically have nothing.
And they just kind of... get together.
They think about what they should have, and then they try and achieve it, and they enjoy each other's company.
It's more of a friendship, because I feel like especially at that point in time, this movie deals with like kind of Great Depression-ish and kind of like this and that.
I got some Grapes of Wrath vibes out of it, especially
sort of
with
like
Out of Work.
Beyond That Road.
Yes.
So it's kind of like we gotta pick ourselves up,
exactly.
But it kind of works.
Since we're talking about Chaplin, I figure we might as well say our favorite Chaplin films.
Okay.
Since we're talking about them.
Yep.
I do enjoy Modern Times. I believe the first one I saw was The Kid, but I think the one that holds a special place in my heart, and I think is agreed upon, that is probably the consensus is usually that this one is top. City Lights.
City Lights, yep.
If for nothing else, then the choreographed boxing scene at the end, which is a wonderful... Search that out. Yeah. It's not in Modern Times, it's in City Lights. Search out that scene. I promise it's so wonderful to see. And that's an iconic image from that film. You see him in the ring in the poster, so... What's your favorite Chaplin? My favorite Chaplin is Modern Times. There you go. There's a reason I picked it for this. I just love every ounce of that movie with my being. They're all wonderful. Exactly. Like you're gonna have a good time. I feel like these are very accessible films also for people who don't necessarily like older movies or silent films. I mean, obviously... It's a great bridge gap. Right, exactly. Like, hey! It's easy for anyone to enjoy. It's easy for everyone to understand. It's evergreen comedy. Exactly. Even with... It's weird because there are so many things about mechanics and machinery in this film, but like... None of it feels too dated. I mean, a factory setting is a tad dated. Yeah. It was of a different time. But still, I feel like... But factories are still... I was going to say, there's still factories. Yeah. Exactly. So... nothing feels too topical. Right. Exactly. Because, I mean, we have... There's always people struggling. There's always going to be an upper class. Yeah, exactly. And there's always going to be socialist messages. There certainly are. Right? I mean, even now, too. I'm okay with that. Cool. So what's... Since we are Records and Reels, let's pick a track for what we think... goes well with this movie. What pairs with it like a nice wine. We are film sommeliers. Wouldn't we be music sommeliers? Or both. I don't know what a sommelier is. They're the person at a restaurant who tells you what wine goes best with your food. Oh, okay. I don't go to those restaurants. Do they have those at Taco Bell? They should. They definitely should. Baja Blast. It was great. Pairs well with a Crunchwrap Supreme. No, so, but yeah, I think a great track to pair well with this film is Learning to Fly by Pink Floyd off of the album The Final Cut. Not the Tom Petty song. Not the Tom Petty song, no. I feel like if you listen to that song, a lot of the beat is made using mechanical sounds. Yes. So I feel like that really pairs well with sort of the mechanical aspect of this film. Also, the sort of naivete of the narrator in that song kind of pairs well also with Chaplin, the character of the Little Tramp himself. Tongue-tied and twisted, just an earthbound misfit I think is the lyric. So it's very much sort of that, he doesn't really belong, but he's kind of there and he kind of works. Alright, so I think this is a great place to end our first episode of Records and Reels. So join us next week when we talk about, you want to introduce this one? I'll do it. I teed it up a little bit earlier, but we're going to be talking about Safety Last, Harold Lloyd's, would you say masterpiece? We'll save it for next time.
Yeah, let's try it out.
So check out Safety Last. It's in the public domain now, so you should be able to find it.
It's also on the Criterion channel.
Yep. Shout out Criterion channel. Please sponsor us.
Please sponsor us, Criterion channel.
Give us a free membership.
Yes. Please.
At the very least.
Yeah.
And you know what? We'll catch you next time.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
Mwah.